Hey there, Internet. Felix Finch here, and welcome to another episode of Underground Lucha Things. Today we're going through Season 1, Episode 18, No Escape, from March 11th, 2015. Now, this is my first time seeing the episode. I've never watched Lucha Underground despite knowing most of the roster, but you know what? I might need some help here, so I'm going to pull in a friend of mine through the Internet. Here she comes. And it is from Midcard Mana, from the Isle of Hawaii, Angie. Angie, how are you doing?
Bang, bang. I am good. My rehearsals are done, so now I can focus entirely on this recap of Underground Lucha Things, episode 18. I'm excited. Thank you again for having me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to have you. And we start Underground Lucha Things with some very good Underground Lucha Things with Pentagon Jr. versus Argenis. Now, the first 15 seconds of this match is more competitive than Pentagon's other matches that he's had since he's been on this squash spree. And Argenis is getting in a really good amount of offense. Like I said, I don't remember the last time we saw this for Pentagon, but it's doing a really good job building up Argenis as a legitimate contender on the roster. Even if this match does end in the same armbar and into an arm breaker that Pentagon Jr. has lost his last match, has won his last matches with, and tortured people afterward with. And once again, he grabs the mic and tells us that he has zero fear, cero miedo, if you will. Angie, how did you enjoy this display of luchiness?
I liked this match, and kind of like what you mentioned before, it started off much more competitive than his matches before with other competitors, perhaps lesser known to the temple. I know Argenis has been kind of a little bit more established in the temple in Lucha Underground, so kind of shows that he's stepping up, going towards the next level of competition, but still being able to decisively end this match, finish this match via submission. And interesting here that Penta is very much treated like the face with everyone chanting for him, the Cero Miedo.
Yeah, I think it's just that is over. Like, it's not necessarily
it's super over.
It's not necessarily he's a babyface. It's fun. It's fun to chant things. It's fun to have little sayings that you can.
Oh,
say.
Absolutely, I agree with that. But it's interesting too to see how quickly they will turn on a wrestler, or I shouldn't say turn on a wrestler, but how quickly they are how quick they are, I guess I should say, to chant the pendejo, the culero to wrestlers that are heels. But they're showing very firm support of him by chanting his Cero Miedo instead.
Okay, that's a good point. Well, right after this match, speaking of more lucha, we have Felix in the locker room, and he is approached by Katrina, who tells him that Mil is looking to take his 1,000 lives. And it kind of looks like she's sort of enchanting him in the way she says that he must bury Mil. Although Katrina, once again, she hits us with a teleportation as she's gone the next moment.
Very bruja, which I like. You definitely get that vibe from Katrina that there's something mystical about her outside of even her interactions with Mil Muertes. And it calls into question, like, how was this relationship set up? I mean, definitely we've seen the power of Mil Muertes, but what's the power of Katrina here? And is that power being used to help Phoenix now that she's on his side? And very decisively, she says that, she must bury him, must bury Mil Muertes. Kind of an interesting callback to Mil Muertes' origin story of how he was buried as a child, which they mentioned, I think, maybe about 5 or 6 episodes ago.
We also get another look at Conan, and this time he's inside of that Mr. Garage he was outside of last time, and looks like he's crafting his own steel walking stick to take to the ring with him next time, because it keeps showing this montage of the wooden stick breaking on Cage's back, and as he's making this, grinding it, dipping it into water so it boils, he's swinging it around through glass bottles to crush them, hitting bricks with it. And you see revenge is coming as he looks like he's prepared to fight like 5 guys with his cane after it's done destroying things.
I love this. And like I mentioned last episode and episodes in the past, I've been very critical of some of the video packages they've had and the voiceovers and whatnot, but I really like this. I think tonally it works for Conan in a way that it didn't quite work for the other competitors, and I think perhaps it's because it's Conan. He has a very clear picture of who he is to wrestling and who he is in wrestling. So all the character stuff that kind of is a little bit more nebulous for other competitors, other performers at this point, as it's all there for him. He's already well established. So I think that this works for him. He knows what works for him. And it just beautiful. Love this video package.
Oh, for sure. And we also have a truck driving up with white wall tires, and it must be carrying King Cuerno. We see it going all through LA, and it says the hunter arrives. So, Cuerno is in the main event tonight, so I'm sure we'll see him. But next up, we have a special match. It is Angelico versus Ivelisse with special guest referee, Son of Havoc.
I actually have in my notes, my notes for the verses is, hey, Angelico versus the baddest, Ivelisse with the good hair. I noticed that it's a little bit more prominent, the red in her hair on the bottom parts, which I thought was beautiful. Just a thing, as someone that likes to do crazy colors to her hair, I thought it looked really good.
Yeah, and once again, they're telling us they won't beat us over the head with how empowering this is for women or other women.
Yeah.
Wow. Frequently telling us this. I do love... Ivelisse has what look like chainmail tights, and there's also some great moments with Son of Havoc putting himself between Ivelisse and Angelico. Though Angelico starts putting Ivelisse in some quite compromising positions, making Son of Havoc upset with some implied cunnilingus. And there's a lot of non-consensual touching, which is a bit uncomfortable to watch in the current environment.
Yeah, that's something that I noticed too. It's interesting how certain things have aged as we watch from then to now. And definitely Angelico, while he's, I think, supposed to be the babyface that we're cheering for throughout this match, has some moments where it's very much like a that's a little much there, man. Like when he pulls her back down onto him, like how you mentioned, and then so Ivelisse has this great move where she reverses the vertical suplex, or she counters the vertical suplex into a guillotine choke, or what looked like to me a guillotine choke as I was watching it, and then he kind of takes it, lets her have it, and then starts just like rubbing her back all over.
Yeah.
So definitely you see that dynamic in this match where he's the sort of sleazy kind of pretty boy versus Ivelisse, who is kind of presented as the heelish sort of shrew girlfriend of Son of Havoc, and then you have Son of Havoc here, hapless, kind of in the middle, trying to keep Angelico away from his girlfriend, both away from pinning her and from pinning her. So you see that kind of very interesting dynamic between the three of them there.
Very much so. And Son of Havoc is, you see he's getting uncomfortable. He's trying to he's doing some things early on where he puts himself between Ivelisse and Angelico. And like I said, Angelico gets irritated and tries to kick Son of Havoc, but he ends up just nailing Ivelisse with a kick, and he mounts her, like lays on top of her, so Son of Havoc goes and quick pins to get him off of her.
Yeah, the fast count get off my girlfriend, as commentary called it.
Yeah. And so Angelico actually wins, and Ivelisse clearly is not happy about that. I thought it was a good way to finish, and I thought it was a fun way to have Son of Havoc continue his ineptitude in this feud.
Absolutely. I think definitely going in, we were all like, oh, well, Ivelisse is going to get it here because Son of Havoc's going to call it for her. But I mean, honestly, not with some of the sort of creepy aspect of Angelico being very touchy-feely here, but it was honestly, as far as in a match, weirdly very smart of him because it got the results he wanted. He got the win.
Right.
He was able to play the mind games enough that he knew that if he did that, he would or Son of Havoc would call it quickly for him just to get him away from her.
Yeah, for sure. And we cut to the bathroom, and Mill is in there, and he hears the voice of Katrina, and suddenly she like kind of shows up in a somewhat ghostly way, and refers to him as his real name, Pascual Mendoza.
Mendoza, yeah, that was interesting to me. It definitely shows a shift in power dynamic, I feel.
Yeah, so I was like, was she controlling Mill this whole time? Because she does say that death is coming for him, 1,000 of them, and she disappears once again, hits us with that teleportation, and the Rock is now in the locker room.
Yeah, interesting too that she also in this segment talks about his background of when she first met him, he was a small lost child that was buried alive and all that, and so now it's calling into question of like, what is Katrina? Is she some sort of ageless mystical being that pulled him from the wreckage and imbued him with this power of 1,000 deaths? Like, what's this background here? It's definitely very interesting, and it definitely set up for the deck between Penta, of course, which 1,000 lives, or not the 1,000 lives, and Mil Muertes is the 1,000 deaths, and showing that now she's saying death is going to come for you. You evaded death for far too long. You had the 1,000 deaths. This is this last one is yours. So I loved that segment, and it, to me, it raised more questions than gave me answers, but in a good way. It was very much a nice hook that will keep you coming for more. So yeah, I liked it. I thought it did exactly what it needed to do.
Yeah, and you brought up something that I was very curious about because, yeah, the age, it doesn't look like she should be able to be at that same point, but at the same time, it's like, oh, wow. So, yeah, she's somehow mystical, magical, and all that good shiz. So, I'm very curious what we're going to get with her history. I'm noticing that Lucha Underground may not be fully based in reality. I don't know. They're getting a slight suspicion of that. But we get to our main event. It is Johnny Mundo versus King Cuerno in a steel cage. And this is definitely an indie show cage. It is quite pliable. And I honestly get more nervous when they climb and fight against it. It does seem like this match should have like no escape, okay? Because the reasoning of the feud is
like the title.
Oh, damn it! I didn't even notice that. Yeah, but it's yeah. So yeah, the title's called No Escape. So it seems like this match should not allow escapes. It should be pinfall or submission in there because the whole point is to be able to fight each other mano a mano, man to man, hand to hand, and they do use the escape kind of area for some huge drama, like some exchanging some kicks up there. There's a great spot where King Cuerno is already over and about to drop down, and Mundo catches him by his mask.
Mask! Oh my god! That's in my notes too. Grabbed by the mask! Oh shit! Like that has so many different levels of storytelling too, because how important the mask is to lucha and to the identity of a luchador. So him going for the mask or grabbing him by the mask, and that mask could just come off and unmask him. That's like, to me, that was a huge moment in the match.
Yeah, this is again just nuts, and they fight in the middle, and Johnny has a chance to escape because it gets really brawly, which is good. It's what a cage match should be. And Johnny Mundo gets to the top, and he seems like he's going to start going over, and he decides, No. And you see kind of King Cuerno kind of starting to slowly get up in the middle of the ring. And Mundo hits his fin de Mundo. He I guess kind of more of a Phoenix splash or so because he doesn't do the split leg because it's a steel cage. But basically, he hits an end of the
Yeah.
world on King Cuerno from a great height. And it's, again, it looks great. It connects fully.
Spectacular. Yeah.
And he's able to get the pin and the win to walk out with a victory. Very exciting match to end the show. What do you think there?
Kind of echoing what you just said, I loved, as far as character-wise, that he went for the pin to win rather than escape. You know, it definitely shows who Johnny Mundo is. He had the chance to escape, he had the chance to run, but instead of escape, he decided he wanted to definitively beat him. And I think that is a huge, huge sort of marker or indicator of the kind of competitor that he is presenting himself to be. Definitely very much the never say die face here, which is interesting when you look at the dynamic of the other sorts of personas or characters that he's had in other wrestling promotions. So I thought this was beautiful, and I thought it was a real testament to his ability to be that.
And yeah, like I said, it was interesting to see how they would do their steel cage, because it just, I was kind of shocked we didn't get kind of an Aztec aesthetic to the cage. But you know, you can't get everything. You can't make everything gimmicked. I mean, sometimes a cage is just a cage, right? And and overall, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. Um, Angie, you know what? You give us your breakdown for the episode. Your final thoughts.
A lot of the same things that you had mentioned earlier in this episode and last episode. I think the storytelling that's been ingrained in each of these matches, with Pentagon doing this for his master, with Phoenix, Katrina, and Mil Muertes in this sort of love triangle feud sort of thing. Konnan coming back and showing that he's here for vengeance, that, you know, you hit him and he was down, but he's not out, and he's going to show you why he's still in the game. The very much, this one's definitely a lot more of a love triangle with Angelico, Ivelisse, and Son of Havoc. That tension there in between all three of these competitors and the power dynamics as they sort of go around and shift between them. And then finally, of course, the killer match between Mundo and Cuerno, showing these are two of the most talented performers in the temple, and showing that Johnny Mundo, whether maybe you know him better as John Morrison, Johnny Impact, Johnny various gimmick names, Johnny Nitro, where he's always been kind of that pretty boy heel that'll win more by crook than by hook, you know what I mean? To see him really own this character of being the honorable, the good guy, the tough fighter, the sort of tenacious warrior that has shown that he is throughout his stint in Lucha Underground. Just, I have so much respect for this guy as a performer all the way down. He's just got really that full package of talented in the ring, thrilling to watch, and character. It's just, yeah. And as a person that does the performing stuff, that character stuff, the storyline stuff, all of that just really comes through so much more strongly in this than in a lot of other contemporary wrestling shows.
Yeah, and exactly like I said, we're getting hints of a little more coming. The Konnan video package is great, and it's been split over 2 episodes so far. So we'll have to see if it continues on into a third. It's been it's been really cool to see how they do these vignettes. I'm invested in what the hell Katrina is, not even who she is, what she is, because she seems to be some kind of mystical, and just and then, like I said, a cool main event to go off with it. And trying to build some more people with giving Argenis a really good look in the defeat. I mean, it'll be nice to get some wins, but that's what we got for now. Anyway, Angie, let everybody know where they can find you.
All right, guys. So I am part of two nerdy wrestling shows based out of Hawaii. The first one being Mid-Card Mana, where myself and my tag team partner, Sam Killer, the wrestling connoisseur, we talk a lot about different themes in wrestling. Sometimes we do recaps, weekly recaps of the world of wrestling at large. And I know I myself do unboxing videos for the Pro Wrestling Crate and prediction videos for the New Japan Cup. My second stint is on Valley Isle Collective's Ringside, where we talk a little bit more about the silly stuff. What's your favorite wrestling theme? What's your favorite finishing move? And why is it the back rake? If you could take a finisher from any wrestler, what it would be. If Haku punched you, do you think you could live? Stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm here on YouTube, youtube.com/FriscoFlame. You can find me anywhere as Frisco Flame or Felix Finch. You can find, if you're listening on any audio podcast that this exists, yes, this is on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just search Underground Lucha Things and follow the show at Lucha Things Show. But anyway, for Angie and for myself, peace out, party peoples. We will see you next time.